Bloody hell, it is freezing. It's like -3 degrees or something. But yeah, behind me here, I've got a super rare car. It is a BMW Alpina D3 bi-turbo, and this is my favourite purchase of the week. So this is it, another week as a used car dealer. By the way, we're filming in mid-December at the minute, so if you're looking at the video and thinking, how is there all this snow on the ground this time of year? This video is probably going to go up at some point in January, but you know me, hashtag on it all the time, getting ahead of times. And I've just had this car come in and I thought this needs to be my favourite purchase of the week, like without a doubt. This is such a bloody cool car. I'm a massive BMW fan. Alpina is a huge, it's not actually a part of BMW. We'll talk about that shortly because it kind of is now. But Alpina is a massive brand, a bit like the Brabus of Mercedes. They sort of externally do modifications to BMWs, and I've never had one on my channel. I've never had one as a bit of stock, never driven one until now. I have actually driven this car and it's brilliant, all right? So this is a 2012 facelift car, BMW 3 Series. Alpina, what they do as a brand is basically, do you know what, let's head to the back of the car. Yeah, Alpina, what they do as a brand basically is they get a BMW SE, which was kind of something that I've always thought is a bit of a negative about Alpina as a brand. They only do it on SE cars, they don't do it on M Sport cars. But we'll forget about that because they're bloody cool anyway. They get an SE car and they make it their own. They add body styling, they add an exhaust system, and on every single version of an Alpina, whether it be a D3, a D5 and so on, they add a different sort of engine under the bonnet, which gives it more power, right? That's the party piece. So this car here, the normal BMW 3 Series of this era would have had 175 horsepower and only one turbo. This is a 2-litre diesel, by the way. Yeah, it's a diesel, but it's got 2 turbos and it runs at 210 brake horsepower. Now, I don't think this particular car has been tuned, so it's running stock power, but trust me, it's a pretty quick car. So this engine was available in the BMW 123D, which is obviously a really cool car, but the twin turbo version was never available on the 3 Series. The next one up from a 320D would have been a 325D, and this is supposedly better performance than a 325D. So that's under the bonnet. On the styling front, if we bring cameraman all the way around here again, on the styling front, in fact, how convenient is that, Nick? Look, we've got a M Sport BMW here. So this would have been an M Sport BMW of the same era. This is a pre-facelift car. This is of course the facelift car. The pre-facelift car there is an M Sport. You can see an M Sport, you know, BMW do a wonderful job of M Sport. Alpina have been a separate company since 1965, which was when they were founded. But in March this year, me filming 2022, but last year to when you lot see this video, BMW actually bought Alpina out as a brand. So BMW, yeah, now own Alpina, but you can see the difference here between them two cars is Alpina, if you compare it to an M Sport car, it actually looks so much more sporty than a BMW M Sport. So if we go over to the visuals of the Alpina, on the front end we've got an Alpina splitter with the Alpina badging. On the side of the car, which was apparently optional, you've got the Alpina decals all the way down the side, which I must admit, I think it's quite a brave thing to do, but I think it looks so bloody cool. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. The wheels are a massive feature. Let's get in closer to the wheels. So yeah, these wheels, they're such a nice feature. The pre-LCI cars had like a multi-spoke alloy wheel, which was actually quite a traditional feature for an Alpina car. But this car here has got the later car. I don't think these particular wheels were available on the earlier cars. I'm not entirely sure, but they are definitely my preference of wheel. And they're a staggered fitment on the front. I think they're 2, 3, 5, what are they? 2, 4, 5. 35 19s on the front, and then at the back. This snow, by the way, this snow is a nightmare. Like, look at the yard. Customers ring up on cars and they're like, yeah, I want to come and have a look at the car. Is it ready to look at? We're like, well, yeah, you can look at it, but just getting all the snow off and stuff is a bit of a mission. But yeah, on the rear, guys, 255 35 19. So they're a staggered fitment, usual BMW stuff. But they've got like a little bit of addition on them, and they've got the Alpina badge on the centre caps as well, which I think is really nice. And on that note, what is also quite cool with this car is if you didn't know it was a BMW and you didn't know nothing about cars, you wouldn't actually know that it was a BMW, because I picked my missus up in it the other day and she got in it. She's like, oh, this car's quite nice, isn't it? And she's like, what is it? And I thought, how has she asked what it is? It's obvious it's a BMW. And she was like, I didn't know this was a BMW, and there was no badging on this car whatsoever to show that it's a BMW, which I thought was quite a cool fact. But you know what, I say that, but there is actually a BMW badge on the rear of the car and the front of the car. But I think as my missus has walked up to the side of it, she looked at Alpina on the wheels, on the side, got in on the inside, and there is no indication on the inside either that it's a BMW. I think personally the rear of the car is my favourite part of the car. It just looks so chunky. Obviously this is a Touring, and you lot know I love a Touring. The wonderful thing about Touring is you get a nice big boot. Well, not just that, you get a split level boot lid as well. Oh, that was a bit of ice, that wasn't the button. Split level boot lid, so you can, you know, if you've got a big camera bag like I have, you can get it in and out through the split level at the top. And you've also got proper opening boot. Look at that, very, very nice, solid hydraulic struts there, I like that. But a nice big boot, so much better than a saloon. Looks debatably better than a saloon. Like personally, I think they look better than a saloon. But yeah, definitely more practical, that's for sure. It's actually in finish in silver grey. I'm pretty sure that is silver grey. My personal favourite colour of BMWs, as you lot know as well. And at the rear, obviously being an LCI car, it's got the LED rear lights. It looks quite chunky. It's still got the standard usual BMW rear arches, so it's not flared at all. But with the fat rear tyres, the LCI rear lights, and the badging on the back, Alpina D3 bi-turbo, I just think it looks so bloody good. It's also got an Akrapovic, is that even the right way of saying it? Akrapovic, however you want to say it, exhaust system. So again, nice little feature as it tails out the end of the bonnet there. Also, whilst we're on the subject of the exhaust, is the rear diffuser. That is unique to the Alpinas, and it's got like a little colour-coded feature around the exhaust tips, which I don't think I've ever seen anything like that on a car before. So yeah, that looks really nice as well. Also, what we've had done to this car is if you come over here, there's an AMG there without the M. It's like racist towards M cars. This car came in, right, and it had no tinted windows. So I thought the first thing that I want to do before I do anything with this car, and by the way, I'm going to tell you what I plan on doing with this car shortly, is I want to get the windows tinted. We've got Alex at A to Z wrapping down the bottom near Binker, and I thought, just get it done. It's about 200 quid. Let's get the car tinted. So we've got light smoke in the front, medium in the rear. I think it just looks really factory. And personally, I wouldn't do anything more to this car because I think it looks as it should have done when it come out of the factory. So yeah, we've got the windows tinted as well. On the inside, by the way, I didn't even mention that we've got Michelin tyres, and I also haven't even mentioned the mileage on this car. It's done 139,000 miles. Like, that's a lot of miles, and you wouldn't look at this car and think it's done a lot of miles, but it's clearly been loved. Like, the wear on the driver's seat is unbelievable. The condition of the bodywork is stunning. Like, genuinely, it's such a nice example. 4 former keepers, so there ain't a crazy amount of owners. And on the interior, you can see again it's got some nice Alpina touches. Like, the seats are unique to Alpina. They're their own design. They're half leather, leather on the outside, and they've got material on the inside. But that texture of that material is unique to the Alpinas. The steering wheel, it's a lovely steering wheel. I'm pretty sure, is that an M Sport steering wheel? Let me go look, put my head in the window of the other one quick. Yeah, it's an M Sport steering wheel. I love it that they've done that, because I always moan, well, I don't moan about steering wheels, I always mention steering wheels as a bit of a feature in a car, and I think it's so important having a nice steering wheel. They've actually put an M Sport steering wheel on an SE car, but then they've done their own touches. Let's go back to the interior. So this steering wheel's got green stitching on the underside, blue stitching at the top, it's got an Alpina badge in the centre, and the paddles obviously linked to the automatic gearbox. They're actually unique to the Alpinas. I've never seen paddles like this ever before. They're like little, almost like little rubber grommets on the back of the steering wheel. By preference, you probably would rather have big paddles because you've got the ability to grab them at any point that you've got your hand on the steering wheel. But again, unique to the Alpinas, I just think that's a really cool feature. And going back to what I was saying earlier about my missus jumping in this car, there's no BMW badges on the dials, there's no BMW badge on the steering wheel, no BMW badges on the dash. On the door sills here, you've got Alpina. There's Alpina written on the dials there as well. There is nothing here indicating that you're in a BMW, and I'm pretty sure as well. Yeah, up the top here, it's actually got Burkhard Bovenspargen. That's my attempt at pronouncing the guy's name. That's the person that founded Alpina as a brand back in the 60s. They've got his name there, and then we've got BMW Alpina D3 bi-turbo Touring. They were available as a saloon, by the way. We're going to talk about value shortly. This car was £47,000 new, but how much is it today? We're going to put up a car vertical check as well and check that out as well in a bit. But yeah, car number 355. So the fact that this is, it's an automatic Alpina facelift Touring, it's a super unique car. So yeah, shout out to Alpina. Really, I'm impressed. I kind of had this feeling on Alpina forever. I've always thought, I just don't like it that they're an SE, but since driving this thing, I am super impressed. So I think what we're going to do now, we're going to jump in on the inside, quickly go through car vertical, then we are going to hit the road despite the weather conditions. I do want to have an attempt at doing a 20 to 70 mile an hour draggy time attempt, you know what I mean. attempt doing draggy times in the car, and I just want to show you what it drives like, and also tell you what my plans are for the car, all right? This weather, I don't want to be a typical Brit and moan about the weather, but it has been quite restricting for us. It's like customers coming out to us have been like, oh, do you know what, the weather's a bit bad, so it's kind of restricting from that point of view. For the valeters, it's just been a nightmare, like they can't really do much. For us filming, it's been a bit of a palaver as well. But I thought, when this car came in, I thought, you know, either way, like it's -4 or something today. This snow ain't going nowhere. I need to film, I need to get this car on my channel, and yeah, I just felt genuinely quite excited about it. But start the engine. Obviously, this is not the ideal car for today's conditions because it is a rear-wheel drive, but it makes it fun. And also, as we're trying to get the car clean for the video, it's literally, the bodywork is freezing over, but it's all part of the fun of filming, I suppose. So yeah, ideal daily. This is like the dream daily for so many people, and the value of it today, we're going to go through value shortly. Let's put up my phone. Not a crazy amount of money, and as you drive down the road in something like this, it's a special thing. It's super rare. I'm going to show you how many are available on the Auto Trader right now. You're going to be shocked, man. There's not many available at all. So Car Vertical check. Shout out to Car Vertical, by the way, for sponsoring today's video. I've been doing a lot with them. A lot of people ask me, Cal, how can I do a history check on my car? The platform that I use is a trade only platform. Then Car Vertical reached out and they do really in-depth checks, and it's available to the public as well, so we'll link them in the description below. So yeah, let's pull that up now. Here we go then, the Car Vertical check. It literally just says at the top Alpina. That is amazing, isn't it? It doesn't even say BMW, it just says Alpina. So yeah, at the top there, it's got the mileage check, it's got a green tick next to it, so the mileage is all correct. Theft, it's not been stolen before, it's not going to have any accidents, and it's got no finance outstanding on it. It does show you the year of manufacture was the 1st of January 2012, and it just shows you a whole timeline there. I've been through this a lot before. Shows you a whole timeline of what the car's had done, where it's been throughout the whole journey of its life. You can see there, it supposedly had a private plate in 2021, which is interesting, D3 SHT. And as you go down, it's got just loads of advice, stolen vehicle checks across multiple countries, and then you've got the whole mileage as well there, just confirming the consistency of the mileage on each year that it's been MOT'd. So there's a damage there. This one doesn't show any damage. There's nothing too exciting to show. Shows you the specs there, 2012 Alpina diesel. HPI don't actually show a spec list on this car. I did do a HPI check on this car this morning, and trying to find specs on cars like this is very, very difficult, and even to find accurate valuations is also very difficult. There is no market values, and there is no spec check either. Sorry, we can't return a full HPI spec check. So spec levels in this car, it's kind of got everything that you'd ever want. It's got Bluetooth. I noticed it's got a little Bluetooth area on the roof there as well, which is pretty cool. And it's also got parking sensors front and rear, which is, again, for the time of the age of the car, is quite nice. It's got that. It's got some indicators there on the Car Vertical check as well, just to say you check the condition of the tyres, be aware of head gasket failure, check fluid levels, just basic stuff that you need to check when buying a used car, all right? So yeah, I will link Car Vertical in the description below. If you want to get yourself a check for your own car, do that. You get 10% off as well with my code CCD. Pretty sure that's the code. I'll put it on screen for you as well, all right? Anything else to report, Cal? Now, usually if I want to find a price for a car like this, I literally just go on Auto Trader, look on the market, eBay and stuff like that, and just see what's available. So if we go Alpina D3 on Auto Trader, and then just go estate, there is only 3 Alpina D3 estates available. That shows you how rare this car is. But search for that. Price loads of high. The cheapest one on the net currently is £15,000, but that's only done 56,000 miles. So this car, obviously, it's done a hell of a lot more miles to that. So I would say a rough idea, the value of this car is maybe about £10,000. The other 2 cars that are advertised on the net there they're both later cars. They're both F and G series cars, so they're not even comparable. So there's literally one single Alpina D3 Touring available on the net. If we just look at saloons, let's quickly look at saloons as well. So if we go body type all, look, a pre-facelift saloon there with 208,000 miles is 4,995, and then you've got a pre-facelift saloon there as well at 6,995, 122,000 miles. But the cheapest facelift car is that saloon there at 155,000 miles. That's 7,458 pounds. So still not an LCI car. It makes a massive difference. So I would say, yeah, definitely somewhere between £8,000 and £10,000. Really difficult to say, but it gives you an idea, doesn't it? Well, we need to try and attempt getting this car out of this yard. I think that's going to be the first challenge. And then after we've accomplished that challenge or completed that challenge, we will then hit the road. All right, let's go. Oh, something I didn't mention before we head out on the road is the Alpina badge on the keys. Look, quick hashtag key check as normal. And yeah, Alpina badge on the keys. I think that's really cool. So it's still a usual BMW key. It's even got a BMW Sytner key ring. And it's also got the original BMW Sytner plates. I would normally get a fresh set of plates from your car. That's usually my standard thing with cars at Binker. But in this case, I just like the fact that it's got the original dealer plate. So yeah, let's continue with what I was doing. Seatbelt on, freezing cold, the car is telling me. I wonder what MPG this car is showing. Being a 4-cylinder diesel engine, there we go, 33.2 mpg. That's with me driving it as well, so that's pretty good. Bigger mirrors on the LCI cars over the pre-LCI cars, point worth mentioning there. I think front camera on. Don't know what it is with driving in the snow, you just feel like you want to just what's the word, I don't know what the word is. Aggravate? It's not even the right word. Oh, there you go. Oh, a little drift there. Little drift. Oh no, we're stuck. We are stuck. Oh, go for a little slide again. Don't hit the Golf R, Cal. We need that. We need that. Oh, by the way, if you ain't in for the chance to win the Golf R for completely nothing, I will link Planet of Dreams in the description below if you've not entered. That's an amazing car, isn't it? 530 brake horsepower that's running now. But anyway, yeah, I'll link that in the description below. I think by the time this video goes live, we would have given away the E46 M3 as well. I don't know. If we haven't, I'll link it all below. Go and enter for the M3. Go and enter for the Golf R. It's completely free to enter, all right? We are off in the Alpina, out of the yards, out of the snow. It's all looking good. We've got sports mode on the gearbox as well. We've got traction control off because obviously that's just going to keep cutting in because of the snow. But so far, I think we're going to be all right. The road conditions themselves are actually okay, so I think we should be completely fine, all right? Fingers crossed. Do not want to crash it. Do not want to crash it. So performance-wise, I say it a lot, it's really difficult. It's fast. It's really difficult to display the performance of a diesel through a video, right? Because they don't make loads of noise. This one does make possibly a little bit more noise than a usual BMW. There's like a tyre track up on the side of the grass there. Someone's obviously slipped off the road this morning. But trust me, just trust me, it is fast, man. It's got 70 more pounds-feet of torque than the usual 320D, and it's obviously got about 50 more horsepower as well. So all in all, loads more power. You've got a big boot. This is like the dream day. I know I've said this already, but it's such a practical car. It's got so much going for it. I love the fact that it's got the Alpina dials as well. We're going to go up the bumpy road and put the Alpina suspension to the test, because that's something else that this car's got. Did I even mention that? Alpina's got slightly lower suspension, which I'm sure you could tell that from the sliders of the car. But yeah, it's lower suspension, but whilst maintaining the comfort of normal SC suspension, supposedly. And you know what, I can vouch for that. Look at him in his Discovery. Look, he's thinking donut. Brakes on, look, sliding. Oh, doesn't have an LSD. Not too sure why. Whoa! But in weather like today, the back end is still trying to do what a usual back end would do with a rear-wheel drive car in the snow. It's trying to escape the road and kill the driver, which I'm hoping that we survive. But yeah, we're getting a little bit of slide, not too bad. I can't really display the performance too much because the roads are covered in snow, but I think what we need to do is get out onto the dual carriageway. We're going to do 20 to 70 mile an hour dragging times to give us a real opportunity to see how it compares to all the other cars on the Draggy leaderboard. I think, yeah, that's the best we can do, and I hope that out on the main roads, the roads are a little bit more or less snowy. Let's go find out. Right, here it goes. 3, 2, 1, go! Draggy times in a rear-wheel drive car at -3 degrees. I'm looking for, in the 5s would be amazing, but I don't think it'll do that. In the low 6s would be brilliant. Yeah, that's possibly a realistic target, but it is just a 4-cylinder, so I'm kind of defending it at the same time. Run number 1, we done. 20 to 70 mile an hour in 6.64 seconds. So what I'll do is I'll do 2 more runs off cam. I'll come back to you shortly and let you know if I beat it, and then we'll compare it to all the other cars on the leaderboard, all right? See you in a sec. So the fastest time is done. The first one was a fast run, but then the second two that I've done were actually both quicker than the first run. The quickest time of the lot was 6.44 seconds. And if you look at the Draggy leaderboards, it's actually quicker than a stage 2 tuned Audi S3 8P. That was a car that we gave away on Planet of Dreams as well. 330 brake horsepower was that? Just over 300 brake horsepower. Almost as quick as an SL 500 and almost as quick as a 300 brake horsepower Vectra VXR. So super impressive times, and bear in mind that this is giving you good economy as well. You know, it's not a crazy Larry car. It's giving you performance and it's giving you practicality. Now the plan for this car is I bought it for another car trader, just didn't suit his stock profile, so we bought it in, and I thought, you know what, that would make such a cool Planet of Dreams car, because I just think I like to buy cars that are appealing to a wide audience. I can imagine so many people would love to have this as their daily car. So if you want to be in for a chance of winning this car for completely free, yeah, you can do that at planetdreams.co.uk, links in the description below. And yeah, they're also on that website. Like I said earlier, you've got the M3 on there, you can enter for that for free, the Golf R, enter for that for free. And I'm just going to keep getting cars that I think are good for my audience and offering my followers, my subscribers to my channel, the chance to win these cars for free, all right? So there's no catches. Go to the website, enter in all 3 cars, and we're going to be giving away all 3 of them cars over the next few weeks, and it's going to continue, all right? So the Alpina is now live on the website, and I'm going to be giving this car away, I think, the first Friday of February, all right? So that's the plan. It is a lovely car, as you can see, and honestly, I am super impressed with it. I've been driving it, I've been using it prior to the snow arriving a couple of days ago, but yeah, I've been using it, and it's a great car, all right? I know I can't fully display the performance, but anyway, let's just wrap it up. Leave us that. Hit like if you like the video, hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.